Now, the US government is a step closer to approving a controversial oil pipeline between Canada and the United States. The State Department report said the Keystone project would not have a significant environmental impact. Well, the report's not the final word on the matter. There's another impact report and a public consultation period still to come. Meanwhile, the Canadian government says the findings reaffirm Canada's position on the benefits of the Keystone pipeline.
We welcome the U.S. State Department's report and are encouraged that it concludes that Keystone XL would not have a significant environmental impact. The Keystone XL project is expected to support 42,000 jobs and billions of dollars in economic activity in both Canada and the United States, and revenues to government to contribute to social programs like health care, education, and housing.
Let's talk to Erich Rica. He's the president of Friends of the Earth and joins us live now from Washington, D.C. Erich Rica, this new report says the Keystone XL pipeline won't have a significant environmental impact. Are you surprised and disappointed by the findings of the report?
Not surprised, but definitely disappointed. This report has been quite controversial over the last couple of years. There's been ongoing conflicts of interest with the contractors hired by the State Department to draft this report. These contractors were employed, have financial interest and business with TransCanada and other elements of the oil industry.
How much is this report being seen as an eagerness to please the oil industry and Canadian politicians who, of course, have been pushing the US government to make a final decision on the pipeline?
Well, there's been high-level meetings here in the United States, both between President Obama and the Prime Minister, as well as Secretary's counterpart, focused on the passage, the approval of the Keystone XL pipeline. And so there's been tremendous diplomatic pressure put on the United States to approve this pipeline, as well as tremendous political pressure put on by the oil industry, led by TransCanada, through votes in Congress, through advertising, through lobbying, to make sure that the U.S. political system understands that big oil wants this pipeline to be built.
And let's just remind ourselves that President Obama has sought to make his fight against climate change a cornerstone of his legacy. But that, of course, goes against the large-scale extraction of tar sands oil, which produces significantly more carbon pollution than standard methods of drilling.
No, absolutely. And in the President's State of the Union address, he said, climate change is happening, climate change is real. This is a fight that we have to fight for generations into the future. And an approval of this pipeline would show that the President is not serious about his pledge to fight climate change. And in fact, the illustrious Dr. James Hansen, who's one of the world-renowned climate scientists, has said the tar sands coming out of Canada is a carbon bomb waiting to go off, and the Keystone XL pipelines diffuse.
A final thought for me, Eric. So we're hearing that this report isn't the last word on the matter. The State Department, of course, still has to conduct a fiscal study to see if it's in the broader interest of the nations involved. Are we expecting that report to give the final green light?
No, I mean, the final green light will be decisions made by President Obama and Secretary Kerry. And both these leaders have said that they want to see strong climate action. And we believe that the financial and the scientific data is already out, that this pipeline is not economic for the United States, nor from a climate change perspective is it right for the United States to have this built. And so we think the data is there. It's just now time for President Obama, Secretary Kerry, to show and demonstrate the political courage to say no to the oil industry and no to the Canadian government.
Erich Rica, thank you for talking to Al Jazeera.